Hey folks, seemed like it was time for another Smoking with Joe. You see, I'm sitting here in the Bahamas, down in Freeport, right on the bay. Behind me is the resort that I'm staying at, and I'm sitting here smoking a nice Cuban Cohiba, which, by the way, are legal down here, so don't get any ideas that I've done anything funny to get my hands on one. And I'm enjoying my cigar. I'm going to enjoy spending a little bit of time with you, talking to you in another Smoking with Joe episode. And what I want to talk about is, listen, I just finished making a bunch of videos for my new programs associated with the power presentation. If you want some more information about that, you can get it at www.intro2power. That's all one word, intro2power. INTROTOPOWER.com. Intro2power.com. And I'd love for you to go take a look at that now. In fact, there's a couple of free videos there that you'll have a chance to look at when you do. No obligation or charge for doing that. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about why I'm so excited about what I've been doing, these videos I've been making, this package I put together. Although it's one of the least expensive packages I've ever made available, I think it's one of the densest and most information-packed because it's about the topic of power. You see, this is what it's all about. I've been ranting and raging in some ways on some of the state of the world that we're looking at today. Some of what's going on in politics, some of what's going on in global affairs, economics, some of the way businesses are intruding on the personal lives of people. And I recently went off in a Smoking with Joe that I'll be making available soon. We're editing that up right now, in fact, about the BP disaster in the Gulf of Mexico, which I think is a global disaster. I don't think it's an American disaster. I don't think it's a disaster for Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama and Florida and Georgia. I think it's a global disaster. I think it's going to impact the food chain and the quality of life that we all live for decades to come. Well, of course, we'll be able to continue driving our cars because no doubt we're going to continue getting that hydrochemical out of the ground. We're going to get oil no matter what it takes. But at what cost? Now, the question that I have isn't whether or not that's the right thing to do, the wrong thing to do. I have my opinions. I share those opinions. There's other places where you can get them. But the question is this. What are you doing about it? What am I doing about it? And in order to do anything about it, in order to take a stand and make any kind of rational, sane decisions about how we're going to move forward into our collective future, we have to be powerful individuals. And what does power mean? Power is a simple concept, essentially. It's the ability to take action to make things happen. Now, there's a process behind that, and that's what I did in all those other videos. As I said, you can go and look at them. There's no cost. They're at www.intro2power.com. Look at those, and you'll get the process that's behind. But where it leads you to is at the point where you perceive yourself as an individual who can make decisions and take action to produce results. That's what you want to be doing. Now, whether that decision is about who you're going to vote for and put in office, or what you're going to do once they're there, or the actions that you're going to take in regard to the corporations and the entities that want to sell you their products and make you their customer, including me, for instance, is all about how powerful you can be in a moment, how centered you are in yourself, how well you can establish a position from which to perceive the world around you, from which to take data in and make sense of it, because ultimately, that's what we're talking about. My life's work is about waking people up to become perceptual machines that take data in from the environment as close to what it is as is humanly possible. Now, I don't know how you go about doing these things. I don't know where you're at in your life with this right now. I don't know if you're making good decisions or poor decisions. I don't know if you're living with the results of a series of poor decisions that led you into where your life is today. Or, on the other hand, a series of decisions that you've made that lead you into a position where you want to be, exactly where you want to be in your life. Well, if you've done that, then you're a powerful individual. You understand exactly what I'm talking about. And I want to help people, by all of the work that I'm doing, tweak that. But we have to wake up, folks. We have to pay attention to what's going on in the world. We're not isolated islands. You see, that was the legacy of the 1980s and 1990s. Is we thought somehow if we looked out for ourselves and as individuals we were okay, well, the world would be okay. Well, I think it goes the other way around. There was an old ad that I understood where there was a picture on one side of a newspaper and a picture on the other side of a newspaper. It's a famous story told in these motivational trainings where a father is trying to keep a young kid interested in and give him something to do while he's trying to read the Sunday paper. So he tears this sheet of paper out of the news that has a picture of the globe on it, and he hands it to his son. And he says, go ahead, and tears it into pieces, put it back together again. When you're done, I'll take a look and see if you did it correctly. Well, it takes about 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and the guy goes, how the heck did you do that? The son goes, well, on the back, there's a picture of a man. All I had to do was put the picture of the man together, and the whole world came together. And the moral of the story is, when the man is together, when the man is collected, when the woman is where she needs to be, the world comes together for them. And I'm not buying it. Bull, bunk, bluey. what goes on is when the world is right, it gives us the context to become ourselves. And here's the trick. It's not always that way. We don't live in Eden. We don't live in perfection. We live in a real world, and it's messy. But when we put our attention on helping the world around us to organize so that it's healthy, it's well, then in the process of making those efforts, we become well. We become healthy. That's what I'm trying to offer you, is the chance to organize yourself internally so you can be in the world and be active. Not so you can go to a monastery, not so you can go to some ashram, not so you can live in some cave in a mountain like a hermit, but so that you can move through the world effectively, efficiently, powerfully. And that makes all the difference. Because if we had probably a couple of 100,000 people on the planet doing that, this would be a world worth living in. I'm Dr. Joseph Riggio, Smokin my Cohiba. It's a number 4. It's one of my favorites these days. Wishing you the very best. Buona fortuna. Abbondanza.